We're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Welcome to the Glassgirls network, proud sponsors of
Neil Deasy
and Neil Rogers.
Right, so today, first fan podcast officially, I guess, of the new season. The games have kicked off in the friendlies, of course. Yeah, but first of all, I think we've got to start. You know, very, very proud moment for women's football at the moment in this country. The Lionesses are in the final, the World Cup final, first final England have been involved in since 1966. Yeah, how do we think they're going to do? First off,
we're going to win.
Yes,
we're going to win.
Simple as that.
Yeah. No, I think it's been really. I think it's been a different type of England performance this tournament. You know, in the Euros we blew teams away, and you know we really looked like we were going to win that tournament from day one, in my opinion. The Euros. This one seems to have been a bit more of a struggle. It seems every game has been like a bit of a tactical game. I don't know if that's because we played a different country from each different continent, and everyone plays differently. I'm not too sure, but each game has just been really a battle, hasn't it? And but we've come out of it. You know, we've looked really, really good defensively. I think we've conceded something like 3, only 2 in open play. So all in all, we played really, really well. We deserved to get to the final. And yeah, good luck to the girls on Sunday.
Yeah, so it's going to be a historic moment. Well, say they won the Euros last year, so winning the World Cup, I say a double. So not even the England men's have achieved that as yet. So, but yeah, it's been a slow tournament for England. So I remember the very first game against Haiti, and it was like we did struggle a bit, but we seem to have just built up our confidence. And I say it's nice beating the Aussies the other day to reach the final. So say good luck to the girls on Sunday and bring home that trophy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we're all going to be down here supporting the girls on the day itself, just before we go off to Nottingham Forest. But yeah, can't wait for it. Hopefully we see scenes like it was almost this time last year when we won the Euros. Yeah. We were all down here again, partying into the night. But yeah, that's enough about the Lionesses. Let's go back onto the Glassgirls. But yeah, so pre-season friendlies. First few behind closed doors, from what we hear, was positive. What we want from I guess the start of pre-season, getting some minutes in the legs. But yeah, what do we make of the sort of start to pre-season that we had?
Yeah, I think it's been positive. I think we'd have probably liked to have had a bit more of a challenging game, a couple of challenging games. I know we played Birmingham at the end of that, but I think #United would have been a great shout, another tier 3 side that we would have been playing against in the league. So that would have been perfect. Rugby Borough would have been another great shout, but obviously it didn't work out. However, I think what we have seen is our team settled down. I think physically we were a lot better, and there's still a lot more to come, isn't there? You know, we've only seen a few matches as well, so I'm sure all these players are still going to continue to improve and get that chemistry between each other. And so far, so good for me.
Yeah, so it's been good so far from the pre-season. The players have been building up their minutes and fitness, which is key for starting the new season as well. So obviously John mentioned a few behind closed doors, so we've only got to see a few games live. So from what we've seen of new players as well, so some exciting new signings to watch during the new season as well. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to the start of the season on Sunday. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you know, just going into depth for the ones that we were actually able to attend. FC United was our first one. Travelling all the way up to Manchester on an incredibly rainy day.
It's Manchester.
Well, yeah, what more can you expect, I suppose? But yeah, it was absolutely drenched. However, we got treated to a very, very nice win. Yeah, it was comfortable in the end. The girls did really well. Got to see some of the new signings in action for the first time. That was always good to see. But yeah, you know, I think it was 7-0. I think was the final score. Can't complain about that, especially that stage in pre-season, coming up against a decent FC United side.
Any players stand out on that one? Because I know obviously you went to that game. But,
I thought Lauren DeCasto and Lois Jeffries were very, very good both together.
Combined, didn't they?
Yes, yeah. The Lois did this excellent little play off to DeCasto for a first goal. That was incredible.
We need a song for them too, don't we? I think.
We do actually. Yeah, someone needs to come up with one. I think.
I wonder what that could be.
Yeah. I think Jess Lowe was really good that day as well. She could have had a hat trick, but yeah, I think she's someone that we've almost missed in the side, I think, Jess. You know, very direct, pacey, clearly got a goal in her as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what she can bring to us when the actual season commences, because in that game especially she looked very, very good. But yeah, let's move on to Lincoln. I think that was the game after that where we were able to attend once again. Yeah, 2-2 draw. Perhaps, yeah, feisty. Perhaps a result we weren't quite expecting.
Yeah, I think I don't think we underestimated Lincoln, but I think, you know, when they're in a league below us, so we're obviously trying to push on. You know, you'd like a win, wouldn't you? And I think you know, we went out there to obviously win, and they come out there with a game plan like they did last time we played them when away from home. They made things difficult for us up there last season, and it was another draw again. And I think it was far from a friendly. You know, both teams really went for that at the end, and great to see that bit of togetherness with the team as well when things were getting a little bit edgy, people jumping in to support each other, things like that as well. But these are the games that I enjoy watching. I know that it wasn't a win, and Lincoln probably felt like they got one over on us, and fair play to them, because, you know, we should have won that game on paper. But I think to watch, it was really entertaining. I think that was the first game I ever watched Jeslow and De Castro play, and I was really impressed with both of them. I don't know how they're all going to fit on the pitch. You know, we'll discuss that throughout the season, I'm sure. But yeah, really impressed with those two signings, and yeah, I think Favour might have come on maybe the second half, was it? I'm not sure if that was that game. But yeah, great to see, definitely.
I was going to say Lincoln felt, as you said, well, pre-season felt more like a league game. It did. So everyone was just, you know, being robust, and in fact we were 2-0 down?
Yeah, 2-0 down.
Yeah. Fought back. I just thought, well, that shows our character. You know, to come back from 2-0 down. I'm just thinking, in the course of this season, there might be games like that where we have to fight our way back into it. So definitely one player that stood out in that game for me was Lauren De Castro. Just seeing very feisty on the field, and definitely sticks up for her teammates as well. So, but yeah.
Can I just jump in there? I think this season, you mentioned feistiness there. I think the players that we brought in really add to that. I think in the past we've been accused of being fairly soft and nice. I think the definition that some of the players use is they've been called nice, and they are. You know, you look at our players. You know, they don't really put in too many hard tackles, do they? Or they never really get sent off. Generally, the odd one or two.
You get your odd one.
Yeah, but you would, you know, we even got nominated for a Fair Play Award, didn't we, or something over the summer? So yeah, so I think what the players that we have brought in, they are a lot more tougher, and they are in that midfield, and I think we need that. And I'm looking forward to seeing that side of us.
I was going to say feistiness, but in a controlled way.
Exactly, in a good way. Yeah.
To say, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think sort of a result like this shows the level perhaps in the league that we've just come out of, that Lincoln can get, you know, if it was a league match, a good draw against us? You know, we've seen the signings that your likes of Peterborough have done, and plenty of other teams in that league. I for one, I'm very glad we're out of it, because it looks like a very, very tough league this season.
Yeah, I think this league, I think every league is gradually getting stronger, isn't it? You know, you can say that for every league, but especially the league that we've just come out of. I wouldn't want to be in there and predicting which team is going to do well. And we mentioned the Lionesses earlier. You know, the money that's coming around now in the last year so quickly. You know, Tier 4 are suddenly in a position that we was in last year, but we was like the only team that was really kind of like paying expenses and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You've got now several teams actually doing that in that league already, just in the space of 1 year. And obviously Tier 3 is going obviously one step further, and the amount of money that's going around there, and you know, we'll be at the other end of that scale, unfortunately. But it is great to see that money is filtering down from the top, and it's only going to help. Things, isn't it?
I was going to say, winning the league last season, if you took us out of that league, that league table, it was very close in terms of the teams around. So I'm just thinking now, looking at for this season, it's so stacked. The likes of Bolmere who went down or in that league now, but I'm just saying we're in a very competitive league with many rivals from the Midlands as well. So it's going to be a very competitive league across all the National League.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, Bolmere was our next pre-season test after that. 1-0. You know, we spoke about this one in the last podcast we did, and say this was going to be one that mattered quite a bit. You know, it would show where we are, I guess, as a squad. You know, they've come down from 3 to 4, we've gone up from 4 to 3. And yeah, it was another great game. 1-0. Favour got her goal. Really, really buzzing to see that. but yeah, what would you make of a performance on that day?
I think it was really strong, to be fair. To win 1-0 against a team that was in Tier 3 last season is good. It's not like the squad or coaching staff are all being ripped apart. You know, they're still a very good team in Bournemouth. Cricket.
They love it.
Cricket season.
Big Bournemouth fans.
Yeah, so to win 1-0 against Bournemouth is you know, if we can pull out 1-0s next season, obviously we'd take that, wouldn't we? So, you know, you'd always like to win a little bit more, especially at home. But it's never going to happen now. We're not playing teams anymore where we can roll them over and win 3 or 4. It's not the level that we're at now, is it? So, I think, you know, 1-0, and there was a bit of that grudge there as well with obviously De Castro and Lois coming from there. Even though I didn't really feel it too much, I probably felt it more with the Lincoln game. But it was still, you know, touch and go at some point, wasn't it? And Bournemouth would have wanted to come here to get something from the game. And yeah, it was just a good all-round performance, I think.
I think it's probably one of our toughest games of pre-season. As you said, Bournemouth has something to prove. They've come down and we've gone up into the league that they are. And I just think we had to grind out that result and the win, because I remember first half we had a good number of chances to score, but just what their goal, always the opposition goalkeeper.
Their goalkeeper was very good that day. Yeah,
it's always the opposition goalkeeper saving them. So second half, it felt like it was getting a bit scrappy, and then obviously there was that corner, and then Favour scored from it as well. And we just, you know, just grind it out until the end and got the win. So proved a point to Bournemouth. We can, you know, compete with you and those in Tier 3 as well. So yeah.
We mentioned that name a couple of times chatting. So obviously we have got that new sign now, haven't we, Kieran?
Yeah, Favour. Yeah, she's come in from Northampton. Was one of their best players. I specifically remember when we played them that she was very, very good. Yeah, well, again, I think like Jess Lowe coming in, I think it shows a lot about us that these standout players from Tier 4 are looking at us and going, you know, I want to join that. I want to be part of that journey. And yeah, Favour, she's been excellent. I think, you know, just in every single pre-season minute I've seen her. She's very intense, very quick. Yeah, she's obviously got a goal as well against Bournemouth. But yeah, no, she seems like a really, really nice girl as well. So yeah, buzzing to have Favour here, and yeah, can't wait to see her properly in action for us.
Dedication as well, coming from Northampton, travelling 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an easy journey, is it? So you know, you have to commend her there as well. Always got a smile on her face. Says a lot to us as well, and also got a fantastic song that will be
yes,
that we'll hear as well. So yeah, really good to have Favour on board.
Rolls.
It might be. It might be. But yeah, the final pre-season match we'll just talk about quickly here, obviously behind closed doors again. Birmingham, obviously a championship side, and I think it showed on the day. Obviously we know the results, you know, even though it was behind closed doors. But yeah, I think that, do you think that was sort of needed, a proper test just to end off pre-season?
Yeah, I think it's more than just a test in regards to, like, over the 90 minutes who was going to win, who was a better team. I don't think it was a test like that. I think it was more of a test of, okay, so there's going to be several times this season, probably at least 8 games this season in the league alone, where we'll probably have our backs up against the wall, and we need to learn how to defend for 90 minutes straight, catch teams on the counter-attacks, or learn transitions or whatever. I think it's more of a, almost like a training match more than like an actual 90-minute match, I would have thought, just to see how we can like adapt to certain situations. So obviously it was behind closed doors, so we don't want to go into too much behind like the tactics and stuff behind it, because obviously it's wrong to do that. But I'm sure they'll learn something from that they wouldn't learn on a normal game where you've got 60-70% possession and the majority of the ball in the opponent's half.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I remember speaking to Harry after that game, and he just said, "Oh yeah, there's so many positives to take from the result that they." So, and even Fisher then said, "Man, he was upbeat about it." So
yeah, that's good.
So things to work on, things they can improve on as well. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you both say, I think it's a good thing that we're able to learn from it. And I guess that's what this season is sort of about. You know, learning a lot about football in general, because we're going to come up against, like you said, some great teams, some professional teams. And I guess if we want to take that step further, then, you know, we need to learn how to be like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. One person that we haven't mentioned just yet, who has signed during the summer, Rosie Emberley, obviously coming from West Brom. What have we thought of her so far?
I think I've only seen him in, was it like one half of the game, I think, because it was
Balmier,
Balmier.
yeah.
Right.
I saw Balmier, yeah. Obviously, centre midfielder. It's another player who adds something. We mentioned on our last podcast about the recruitment of all the players, there being something that we've been lacking. And you look at Rosie with what she's got in the midfield as well, along with the rest of them that we've signed. It just adds that extra something, doesn't it? So it'll be interesting to see if she kind of keeps Elle out the team, or can she work alongside Elle?
Yeah.
Or who's going to be sacrificed there? And it's a shame to talk like that, but as things stand, Rosie might think to herself, "Right, I need to be a first teamer here," and she's definitely got that capability. But it's thinking, okay, well, where's she going to fit in around Elle? So hopefully we can find a way for them both to play together.
Well, an interesting thing to do with that is Boldmere. I thought Elle McGovern put in one of her best ever performances at centre back, which was really surprising for me. I know she's played there, I think, in her youth, quite a while ago, but yeah, I've never seen her do that in a Stourbridge shirt, and what a performance it was. It was incredible. Yeah. I think she actually went off. Did she go off injured in that game? I think maybe just a slight knock.
Yeah, I think she definitely came off.
But yeah, if that's the solution to get both of those in the team, I'm not complaining at all, because they both seem to perform really, really well in those roles.
And playing against like the likes of Forest or Wolves, where the formations might be slightly different, or why not put Elle at the back more often, and then put Rosie ahead of her? You think of that kind of formation, that would look quite strong as well, wouldn't it? So there's definitely ways for them both to play together at some point. I'd like to see it happen.
I was going to say, during that game, I felt Rosie was like calm and controlled in that midfield, didn't get flustered or get caught out. So, and also her technical ability on the ball was good as well. So every time getting on the ball, just looking up and getting the ball forward as well. So from what I saw so far, good.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's have a look onto the season coming ahead, shall we? This Sunday.
Is it going to be?
Is it going to be 4 in a row? That's the biggest question.
That is the question.
But yeah, let's give our predictions first off. Let's see how we think we're going to fare in Tier 3 for the first ever time. Personally, you've got your big teams, haven't you? You've got Newcastle, Burnley, Huddersfield, all the likes of the professional ones. And I think we won't be ahead of them. You wouldn't have thought. So I think the top of the bottom of mid-table. Does that make sense?
The top of the mid. Say again, sorry.
The bottom half. The top of the bottom half is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I get that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I think we'll be. I think, I don't know. I think we've got that quality. I think pre-season has showed that we've still got a lot of quality as well. But yeah, when you look at your likes of West Brom and I don't know, Liverpool Feds, can we get points off them on their days? I think why not? Definitely. So yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting, to say the least, because it could go anyway, right? Like there's no real way of predicting how this season's gonna go. And yeah, that's what's gonna be the most enjoyable bit about it, I think.
I agree with you. I think the table will be split. I think you'll have like your 5 teams at the top, like with the Burnleys, Newcastles, Forests, Wolves, Stoke. With the, I say these names purely because they put like the most investment in, so they'll be looking at some sort of return in the next 2 years. So they'll want to make an immediate impact, and you can see that with the signings that they've made. And then the other 7 below them, they probably will be jumping here, there, and everywhere over the space of the season, and we will be in that bottom 7 at some point, depending on how the fixtures run. We could be in the bottom 2 for periods of time. Hopefully, it won't be like there all the time. I think you need to get roughly about 17, 18 points to stay in that league. I think we're more than capable of winning 4 and drawing 4. That's 16 points right there. Yeah. So, I don't think it'll be necessarily a relegation battle, but I do think over the periods of the season, we'll be looking over our shoulders a little bit. But I think that's normal. I think, coming up at some point we've got to level off, and this is obviously the season where we're going to level off and almost look at building again.
I think it's going to be a very tough season for Stourbridge. I mean, looking at the teams we're going to be competing against, the likes of Newcastle, Wolves, West Brom, even Nottingham Forest, who were in the playoff final last season. They could have gone up to the Championship. So in terms of predicting where they're going to finish, like him, top of the bottom half, so probably, I don't know, 8th or 9th, as long as we can, you know, keep our heads above water. So I just think there's going to be some games where we're going to get chances and we're going to have to take those chances or grind out like 1-0 wins, and you know, we're going to have to be literally being put on the back foot and defend a lot of the time. So, but yeah, it's going to be a tough season, but I just want the, you know, the girls to go out there and just enjoy playing football. So
I want the fans to do the same as well, because we talk about like the players have to start getting used to losing, and obviously Fisher and Mike and the coaches, but we as fans do as well. And you know, I'm going to go there and I'm going to try and enjoy the atmosphere as much as I can. And you know, we know that we're going to hear a few grumbles here and there, but I still want to go there, go to each game and just celebrate the fact that we're playing these top teams, and just remember what we, you know, live for 7 days a week. You know, the day that goes by where we don't talk about Stourbridge, so let's not ruin that by losing against a team that we should probably lose against anyway. And let's just still, you know, just enjoy the occasion, I guess, because it's a massive thing that we're involved in this season. So yeah, I think, you know, that's a big part of it.
Never like seeing the team lose anyway, so just always think when the team loses, I just want the next game to come around as quick, so we can just you know, get back in the win column.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree with everything that you're saying. However, this time last year, I think we were having similar conversations, so I don't want to put anything out there, but yeah. So yeah, let's have a look at that first game away at Nottingham Forest, like we've already mentioned. Yeah, it's a tough start to say the least, isn't it? Obviously, Forest were right up there last season, going to their ground, first day of the season. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. But you know, it's the first game of the season. Like, crazier stuff has happened, right? You know, I think people would be expecting us to lose, but a draw is a very, very good result, right? So yeah, I don't know. What do we think about that one?
I agree. You know, we are expected to lose. You know, on paper, it's probably like the hardest game that you could have. You know, the league leaders last year, away from home, newly promoted Stourbridge. You know, so in theory, this should be, if this was like the Premier League or the WSL, you'd probably be predicting 7 or 8-0 to the home team winning it. But I'm certainly not doing that. We know a lot of work's going on behind the scenes, and we trust the players and the coaches to make it as difficult as possible. There's going to be several games this season that's very similar to the games that we played against Wolves, you know, and if we can learn how to, you know, be a bit more attacking and create a few more chances and take 1 or 2 of them, then there's always a chance, isn't there? You know, we are known to be a very good defensive side. It's not very often that we concede goals. Again, we will be conceding goals this season, but you know, I think our defence is up to the challenge. So I just think, you know, as long as we can get a few chances here and there and pull out these draws, like you say, against these top 4 or 5 teams, then we should have you know, a season that we can be proud of.
I was going to say, and on paper it looks like, yeah, Forest should be winning that game, but like I said, the plan that Fisher and Mike have put into action for that game, like I say, if we do what we do out of that and take our chances, and then there's no reason why we couldn't come away with 3 points on that day. So yeah, definitely going to be a tough game, and obviously we'll be getting to see somebody on the Forest side that we knew, the Manchester United women's side, Molly Green, so good to see her in action as well. So, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm quietly confident we'll go there and get a result.
I love it.
Like I say, win and draw, I'll be very happy with, but say, as we said, agree on paper, Forest are the favourites, but I think Fisher said in his press conference last month, we're going to cause a few upsets, so maybe first game of the season, cause the upset.
Yeah, no, I agree. Our last talking point here, the first game that we're having down here at the War Memorial, York in the Plate Cup determining round, whatever it's called. Obviously last season we had a great run in the Plate, got to the final, unfortunately lost to Leeds. We all like Leeds still, but yeah, how do we think that's going to go? And you know, do we want Cross as a book? Do we want to go into the Plate in a way, because you know, it is easier at the end of the day, and there is a chance, I guess, at silverware.
Yeah, I think from a fan's point of view, yes, because you know, we enjoy cup games. They're games that we stand a good chance of winning. You know, a couple of those games you'd like to think would be against Tier 4, so you know, you'd feel comfortable about winning those games. However, we know the financial struggle of last season. You know, we would have been better off actually going out to the cups and not paying for those travelling. because it's not cheap to pay for coaches up and down the country, especially when you're playing away as often as we did last season, which is obviously a conversation in itself. But no, I mean, as to the actual play itself and the actual cup, of course, you know, it's exciting. It's the first home game down here, isn't it? So it's even before like the likes of Derby and Stoke. So you know, it's really get to see mood going, I suppose, for the main event, which would be obviously Derby at that point. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time and one that I'd expect us to win.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to the first home game down here, well, being a cup game as well. So I think it'd be nice to go on another good cup run again, whether it's the League Cup or the National Play. Like I say, we've still got the FA Cup to compete in this season as well. So, as I've said to John, dream would be Stourbridge, Man United, but maybe one day. But no, in terms of League or the Play, yeah, like I say, it'd be nice to, you know, get to another final again. But I say, I think they'll be just concentrating on, you know, the league form. So, you know, say staying within tier 3. So from say get a run in the cup, you know, even better. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I think a good run in the cup would do, you know, a lot for us. I think it got our name out there a lot more last season as well, being so like involved in the League Cup and the County Cup as well. But yeah, you know, they're going to want to go out. They're always going to want to win, right? So yeah, I'm expecting a good performance. I'm expecting a win, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's going to be a good time being home, being back here, because it feels like it's been for ages since we've been down here. But yeah, apart from that, I think we've just about covered everything. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And as Josh likes to say, we don't stop. Bash.